Hello, my name is Julie Forchhammer. I was supposed to be in a room with you right now, but something happened. I live in Vang in Valdres, in the beautiful mountains with Jotunheimen National Park as my neighbor. I used to work as the environmental manager at the Øya Festival in Oslo, but I moved to the mountains in 2014 to become the manager for the festival Rock. 3 years ago, I founded the non-profit organization Klimakultur together with Agder. Since then, we have worked in Norway and internationally on engaging artists and the culture sector to take climate action. Our work has gradually around into the questions which especially we in Norway need to address. How can culture and music stop the fossil fuel industry which is destroying our world? So, why am I still in the mountains and not in Kristiansand right now? Let me tell you about my weekend. Saturday after midnight, the wind started blowing and blowing. It sounded like the sky was falling down. The house was shaking. My dog was shaking. The electricity went out. We went into the room in the back of our house, away from the strongest winds that made the windows shake. I felt safer there in the back, but of course I didn't feel safe at all. We didn't sleep all night. The wind was over 30 meters per second, maybe as high as 44 meters per second. That's way over hurricane level. When the morning came, I peeked outside. It was still windy. It looked like this. Luckily, none of the trees near my house fell over. The power was still out. I had tapped extra drinking water the night before. I had plenty of firewood and food. I was okay. I was supposed to get in my car on Sunday morning and drive to Kristiansand, an 8-hour journey. But I couldn't leave the house in that weather. And I wouldn't leave the house either until I knew that my house was safe. The next hours went by. We were texting each other up there. Are you okay? Do you have electricity? Is your house okay? The power came back. The wind slowed down. I walked outside. There were fallen trees everywhere in the neighborhood. No houses were harmed or people, but it was close, way too close. Trees had broken like matches or were uprooted. In some areas, it looked like some giant trolls were playing Mikado with the trees. This is a couple of 100 meters from my house. Last week, more than 200 people died in Valencia in Spain in flooding. People are dying everywhere from extreme weather events. We know that, we talk about that. But we need to talk about Norway's responsibility for these extreme weather events. Norway's responsibility for the climate crisis. We need to talk about that Norway this year is the biggest spender in the world on new oil and gas offshore. More than the US, more than Saudi Arabia, more than China. We need to talk about how Equinor, who is state-owned, an oil company owned by us in Norway, has a strategy of becoming the last oil company on Earth. We need to talk about how Equinor, through their sponsorships of music, culture, sports, and educational programs for kindergartens, schools, science centers, and universities, like Universitetet in Agder, is teaching us all what to think and feel and know about climate. We need to talk about that. Did you know that Equinor is funding music education for Norwegian kids? The Lydlab music education program, created by the Science Center in Bergen and Festspillene in Bergen, is delivered to thousands and thousands of Norwegian kids all over Norway. So, we need the music sector to engage. Music festivals, artists, and the music industry is taking action and speaking out against fossil fuels. In Norway, 15 cultural music organizations has supported resolutions against new oil exploration. That's amazing, but too seldom talked about. Please check out the following organizations and networks who are doing amazing work for future generations and against the fossil fuel industry. The Campus Climate Network, Climate Live, Earth%, the Fossil Fuel Non-Proliferation Treaty, and Music Declares Emergency. Finally, I have a question for you, something you can think about later or discuss this afternoon. We need to stop the fossil fuel industry. We must stop the fossil fuel industry, and we must stop them from opening new oil platforms. Our survival, our beautiful world, our beautiful nature depends on it. I appreciate that many of you are doing your everyday tasks, flying less, eating less meat, shopping less. Thank you. But please help me and millions others around the world who are trying to change the oil industry. What can you do? Who do you know? How can you help us in Norway become a true climate leader, not the worst climate enemy as we are today? What can you do? Good luck with the discussions, and sorry for not coming. It was Equinor's fault. Thank you.